discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and Brad and I are continuing our top 100 games of all time. This segment is 80 through 71. Let's see now. I have 80 through 71. I have 2 new games.
I have 4.
On this, you have 4.
Yep. Interesting.
This one is going to be kind of a pretty good list. I'm excited to talk. I'm excited to talk about all these games, but it's just, man, it's so interesting to see where games were, especially in 2017. Like, I have games in 2017 that I don't even have anymore, and it's like, what was I thinking at that point? But anyway, I will kick us off with this one. You kicked us off with the last one. So my number 80 was number 67 in 2018, so it fell 13 spots, and was number 26 in 2017. So it has fallen quite a bit, mainly due to lack of play, and that is a fun reverse of Arkham Fate of the Elder Gods. Yes. is the game. And this one was a nice change of pace, like a couple years ago, because it wasn't the standard trope of where the investigators trying to stop the cultists in the ancient one. Everyone has their own ancient one that they're using their cultists to go to various locations to try and get, like, basically influence and points to awaken yours. And if you awaken yours, then you win. Now every ancient gun has their own special ability. All the locations have their own ability for if you control those sections. And a unique thing about this is you play certain cards, symbols on these locations, and based off where those are at, you get to play special abilities or special, like, spells. And that just grows exponentially as the game goes on. So each location has their own innate symbol, and then the cards that are played. And this game actually was surprisingly cutthroat, and you had different ways to try and, like, win or stop people from winning, and it's a lot of fun. Like, you can send, like, investigators, they're the bad guys, to people's lodge, which is like their player board, which is very bad for them because then they get, like, elder sign tokens. And if the elder sign tokens become too much, then they lose. Like, there's no way that they can actually win the game. It's really, really cool. And in the expansion, the Beasts from Beyond, you can actually play spells to summon beasts that have their own unique ability too. I wish that they would do more with it. I cannot even tell you who made this game.
Greater Than Games.
Greater Than Games. What else did they do?
Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Yep.
They did. Spirit Island.
Spirit Island. Yep, that's the one I know the most of. So they're probably all their eggs are in the Spirit Island basket right now. But this could have done with maybe one more expansion, I think.
I own it. I've never played it.
There's a solo variant as well.
That's why I own it.
Yeah, which I haven't tried, and there's also a 2-player variant because it's been a long time, which is why it's 80 and not 26 or even 67. It's because I haven't played this in quite a bit, but I'm keeping it because the game is still really solid, surprisingly good, very cutthroat, but not too much where you're like an asshole the entire game. And it's a really, really cool theme. Like, I guess the theme is H.P. Lovecraft, but I like the fact that you're not an investigator. So that's my number 80, Fate of the Elder Gods.
All right, my number 80, you've never played.
Are you sure about that?
I guarantee it. Last year it was 37.
Okay.
The year before that was 56.
Okay.
So it's fallen a little bit, mainly because I haven't played it for a while. It's Flying Frog Games.
Okay.
It is A Touch of Evil, Dark Gothic, the deck builder.
The deck builder one, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
have you played the board game?
No, I have not.
Touch of Evil.
I was supposed to go meet with the Chads and all that stuff. We were supposed to have some big, like, Halloween deal, but it never.
Yeah, I tried that too. It didn't happen.
Yeah. So anyway, this game takes a touch of evil. It has all the same cheesy B-movie art, all that good stuff.
Well, art.
It's
a picture.
Yeah. The monsters are drawings and stuff of the monsters, but
can you imagine if they, like, got in costume for the monster? It's like, that's clearly a guy.
but it turns it into a deck building game. A typical deck building game, big deck. You'll have your row, and out in that row will be other investigators. It could be monsters. It could be items. It could be relics. All kinds of stuff. But what makes it unique from any other deck builder is most deck builders have two currencies. You know, there's an attack and there's a money of some sort.
Yep.
All of these, there's three currencies.
Okay.
There's like strength,
cunning,
knowledge, and
is it red, green, blue?
Yes.
Okay.
Or purple.
Because
purple.
I played
red, green, blue.
I played a Touch of Evil, a board game at Gen Con 2 years ago, and it was those colors. So it is like their attributes.
But that's what you buy. So like, or defeat or whatever, because you know if you want this certain relic, you may have to have 2 green to do it. You know, or some things may cost red, blue, green, so you have to pay that much, have that much in your hand that you do to get that thing into your deck. All the while, there's 3 levels of bad monster that you're beating. The first, you know, and then you gain whatever you gain for beating them. It's competitive. It's a competitive deck builder.
Yep.
And it's unique. I think that having the 3 currencies is what makes it unique, because I play so much deck building and it's always just money and attack. Money, attack, money, attack. This one is just different stuff.
Yep.
You know,
there's a game that came out this year, Volfurion, and it has 3.
Wow.
It has I cannot tell you what they were off the top of my head right now, but having the 3rd one, which sounds so like, oh wow, a 3rd, but it really changes it up.
Right.
So.
It makes some cards, you know, if they have, you know, each of the deals valuable because you can use it for other stuff. And so it's a really cool deal. Because I like Flying Frog games. I like that photography, cheesy art. It's stupid, but it's funny to look at.
Yeah.
I will say that's the one caveat with this base game. Gets really samey. If you go for this, there's the colonial horror expansion. That it's almost a must, not because it fixes anything, just because it just adds
variety,
a bunch more content, a bunch more cards, a bunch more cool monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
So it just gives it a lot more replayability.
And the board game added it had a bunch of expansions too, which added more locations you can go to, and also more of the enemies.
Right.
But Flying Frog they're okay for me. Like, they still have a lot of like old school mechanics, like roll to move and just basically roll to resolve.
Well, and I think they lean into that. I think that's part of their shtick. You know,
sure.
Their games are all. They do that because they want to kind of feel like a nostalgia kind of thing a little bit.
I wonder if they know. I wonder if they take their pictures seriously, or if they know that this isn't like.
Well, the only reason I think because they still put those fucking CDs in there.
They do.
Nobody listens to those things. I mean, well, I guess there's probably some Uber nerds like,
yeah, like they pull out their Walkman.
Track 2. You know, whatever. But anyway.
On repeat.
So,
listen to something else.
So anyway, it's like, but I think that's part of their whole nostalgia.
Yeah.
They do that deal. They put
probably
the
cost them
CDs
like
in all
$1 to make the CD.
Right. You know, I think that's just part of their thing. You know, they have their big following with, you know, Fortune and Glory and Shadows of Brimstone. And Touch of Evil.
Shadows of Brimstone is definitely their big money. Like, that's their best game. And Fortune and Glory is set to, I think, release 2 expansions, but they've been on pre-order for
forever.
Yeah.
I think they said finally it's Gen Con this year.
You mean next year?
Well, August. So I guess
Gen Con of 2020.
I think
Wow.
Yeah. So
it's like.
But that I may be wrong. I mean, I don't know that for a fact. But yeah. So anyway, Touch of Evil, Dark Gothic.
All right. My number 79 is a wonderful. It's a very small game, but in 2018 it was number 38. Fell 41 spots, and then number 20. Wow, in 2017 it was number 70, so fell 9 spots from 2 years ago, and that is Small World. So, Small World is a really cool game about just wacky factions. That this game is base game alone has like almost unlimited replayability just with the combinations of factions that you can get. It's an area control game, a point salad game. You're constantly getting points and money, which are your points, the entire game. But what makes this game stand out from a lot of others is the fact that you have factions on display that are paired with an ability. And the factions already have their own ability as well, but then it's just like an attribute, I guess, almost. And those combinations, one will give you a certain number of tokens for the faction that you choose, and then some weird busted ass ability that all of them are like that to use as you're trying to do area control. Now, what's really cool about this is because you place them in areas on the map, and it's called Small World because there's not a whole lot of room as you're trying to display and hold power, because you get money or points for how many areas you control. And eventually, you're going to run out of tokens to spread, or you spread yourself too thin that people will just easily take it from you, that you will put your faction in decline, which means that they go away. Now, the tokens on the board stay on the board, but they get flipped and they're no longer using their ability, but you still control the areas. And then you have to pick another faction. And that's kind of the strategy to the game. It's like, this is a really good ability, but I only have 5 tokens. Do I want to get rid of it, or do I want to like see how far I can take these guys? This is one of those games that I actually don't really care for the expansions. Like, they made a lot, and it just kind of made the game what was once simple to learn, but really good based off the different factions. It made it convoluted, I felt.
I used to like this game because this was one of the early games I played back in the day, but I just got burnt out on it.
Really?
I mean, expansions, no expansions, whatever. I just didn't.
Just don't care for it anymore?
I mean, it's not that I don't. It's a great guy. I realize it's a good game. I'm just saying I just won't ever play it because I just feel like it's, to me, it shows its age.
Huh. That's interesting because now, granted, it's been a little bit since I have played it, but I think that this game works well. With 3, 2, 4, and it, to me, because the game is so simple, there's not really much of an age to show, I guess, in my opinion. Now they had the underground one that I didn't like. Yeah. Then they had those skinny big box. You know the one I'm talking about. Like the box is really thin, but it's a bigger box. They had like that for for like a river.
Yeah, the rivers and something.
I can't remember what it was called. But then they also had these small deck expansions, which were like quests that you can go on. It's like that's not what this game was about. This game was about just the simple area control with the wacky paired up factions, and that's it. Now they also did release expansions just for more monsters, so that's the only thing I do like. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I like seeing the combinations of the factions that you can pick up, and it's like, ooh, how's this gonna work against your thing?
Right. And I think and showing its age may not be the right thing. We played this shit out of this game. Like that group I had in Pittsburgh, like we met twice a week for several, and that was played twice a night every night. I mean,
gotcha.
Because I didn't have many games that night, and they, so, I mean, it just was.
I can see that. I can see that being like, there's a lot of games that it's like I couldn't play the same game.
Well, like photosynthesis, you talk about how you played it so much there.
Yeah, that's like, nope. Yeah, I'm done.
Right. That's how I kind of feel with that game.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, 79, Small World.
All right. My super fun shot. There we go. All right. My 79 is a pretty big fall. It was 33 last year.
Did we talk about, real quick, did we talk about how many new games in this list? Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's just we had to take a break because of series.
That's right.
It was 33 last year, and it was 9.
Oh, God.
The year before that.
It was 9.
Yes, and it's only falling this far because of lack of play. I love the game still, it's just I haven't played it. I'm waiting for the solo variant to come out, and then I'll be all over it.
Felt like 50 spots and then like 70 spots.
It's 70 total because it was 9 and this is 79.
Yeah.
So it's unfair.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Come on.
Or Good Games
Come
Publishing.
on, buy our games.
So anyway, unfair. It's competitive. You're building your own. It's a card-based game. You're building your own theme park along with everybody else. You choose some themes, decks. You shuffle them together. That's what you buy from. There's throughout the phases, there's ways to screw other people. Hence the name. You're screwing other people. There isn't any way to totally trash their deal. You may kill them for a turn, which could be a big deal.
Yeah.
But you aren't like destroying their.
Yeah, you just kind of shut it
park.
right
You're
down.
shutting stuff down.
OSHA violation. Haha.
Right. The expansion's out now. That has the
I did see that
new stuff. Apparently, there's a solo.
Really?
Deal getting ready to. It's in playtesting.
That's weird.
I'm waiting to get contacted to playtest that because I playtested on the
for all the other expansions and stuff.
So I'm waiting to see because that'll really get it to the table with me because right now it just doesn't. My family liked it, but my kids they didn't really. You really don't want to go out and just
screw people over. Yeah,
theme parks.
That was a turn off from the people I did the recording with. Was the fact that it's just like it just seems. I understand the game's called unfair, but it's like it seemed like there wasn't really a reason to just be an asshole to someone, and it was very lucky. Hey, lucky me! I got this one that benefits me just off the cards you draw at the beginning of the game.
Art's great, all that stuff's great. I love the smash up feel of you can take all these decks and make a deal out of it.
I think the theme only comes out in the art alone.
It does,
really.
Well, and I guess some of the
unique ones,
of stuff, but and then your whatever they're called your big rides.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those were completely unique.
Right. So anyway, like I said, it's dropped 70 spots in 2 years. It's still a great game, I think, but I just can't get it to the table right now. I need to get if a solo thing will get it because I personally would play the hell out of it, but we'll see.
It was 89 for me in 2017, and it was let's see, I don't even think it was a contender last year. I am not finding it, and it's definitely not a contender this year, I can tell you that much. I don't think I even considered it. It's just because I sold it because like the theme park theme is fantastic and that's what makes the game so much fun, but at the end of the day, you almost like you're playing the game and you're building and you're getting all these rides, getting a bunch of income, and that's really just what it should have been, in my opinion. And I think you can play. Is there a variant where you don't have to be?
Yeah, there's an mean. You just take the mean.
That's right. Right. So,
you can. So,
then you're probably missing a huge element of what the game.
Yeah, it's. I don't mind that part because, like I said, it's not like you're, somebody's spent all these cards and money building up their roller coaster. It's like you're not destroying the coaster and wiping it from existence.
Right.
You're just not getting the income for it for one turn.
For one turn, yeah.
So it's bad because it could hinder them. It could be crippling money wise, but you're not trashing their park. If you were trashing their park, then I would have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But you're just doing stuff. But so anyway, it's this game being on this list is all going to depend on
how the solo variant
if that
works.
Solo thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Through. Okay. My number 78 is one. It's in a theme or a game mechanic genre, I guess, that I absolutely adore. But as more of these games have come out, this is kind of falling to the wayside. But I just played it again, and I was reminded how fun these ones are. It is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, and in 2018 it was number 58, so it fell 20 spots. And in 2017 it was number 38. So it's just fallen 20 spots each time. Next year it'll be 98, and then it'll be 100. It'll just keep falling out. But Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective was one of the first games that I got, and especially in this genre. And if you don't know, it is a deductive game where you are given a scenario and you are trying to solve a case based off of what the scenario is about. And they've come out with 3 big boxes for this, each with 10 scenarios, and you it's very open-ended. You have a map of London that you can go to. You have a directory where you can look up people that are in the game, and they tell you to go to certain pages in the scenario book. And each one you go, that's a lead, and you're trying to solve the case in as few leads as possible, because Sherlock Holmes, and you're trying to score yourself. There's really no win or lose. It's just like, okay, well, here's, we did it in 7 leads, and Sherlock Holmes did it in 5. So we did 2 leads, and each lead you do more than him, you lose 5 points from your total score. Now, it's hardly ever been that close. Usually we do it in 30 leads, and Sherlock Holmes did it in 3. And it's like, okay, well, we got a negative score. Cool. Because he's just like, you didn't think to go to the bank? It's like, no! Why would I think it was a murder? Like, who goes to the bank? But just the variety of, like, each one is like a wacky scenario. Like, none of them are like, oh, this is like that one. Some are really big ones, and others are smaller, like, simpler ones. Like, one is like about lions, and then there's another one that was about a psychologist, or a psychic, not a psychologist. And they're just all over the place. One of the big boxes had a small mini-series of Jack the Ripper, which is actually, funny enough, during that podcast I was telling you about, I actually knew a lot from that because of the mini-series, which I thought was really cool. We did horrible for that, but that's not the point. We had fun. And yeah, it's just, I mean, there's only, like, a problem with that is that, one, once you know the case, you know the case. And 2, you have to take extensive notes, which is not the problem. The problem is you can't go back to talk to people and be like, well, like, right. So you just kind of have to be like, okay, so this person said this, but this is the information we discussed, so they must be lying now, and then you try and deduce that way. You can't go back with new evidence or anything like that. But really fun game. I'm doing there's one about, like, a house, and I cannot remember what the house was called, but it actually had a blueprint for the house, and that's, like, incorporated in a lot of other scenarios. So I really like it. I like Sherlock Holmes as, like, a thing, and this is really good. So that's my 78.
All right. My number 78 is a new game to the list.
Okay.
It's actually just a new game. From Renegade Games, it is Proving Grounds.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that was going to be on your list or not.
Yes. Proving Grounds is the first in a series of games that's going to be solo-only games that they're going to be releasing. I don't know how the frequency of games are going to come out. Mm-hmm. It'd be nice if they did one a year.
Like a year.
Or whatever. This one, you are God
damn it. You guys are annoying. Okay.
This one, you are a female warrior or something that is getting, I think the story is you're wrongfully charged in a murder or whatever in the kingdom.
Oh, okay.
And you're sentenced to the arena to fight for your life. More or less, it's like trial by combat kind of stuff.
I choose trial by combat. I choose a better season finale.
So what's cool about it is you're sitting here in the middle. It's a cardboard deal, and then there's a little deck of these bad guys that and you'll put one in each spot, up to 6 spots around you, and then they have their different abilities and different attack strengths and stuff like that. They also have hit points themselves. There's a timer that you can get on your phone. It's a 1-minute timer. Has some, like, gives ambiance, sound, and noise and sound effects. But you're gonna roll dice. It's real time, which is
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. And
it's real time, which, surprise, it's on my list.
Yeah.
But it's a solo game.
So it equals out.
So you roll the dice and you keep rolling them as much as you can. Now, what happens with this deal, though, is you have to, if you roll dice that are, if there's a pair, if there's singles. Oh my gosh, this is the rule I always got messed up. If there are Yeah, you can't re-roll things that have multiples.
Okay.
All right, you can only re-roll the singles, and you keep re-rolling them until they
get locked.
match up. I believe it's
Okay.
one where. God dang it! It's one where it is. But then what you're trying to do is you're trying to get those to land on 1 through 6, and the end of the game is that you need to kill X number of bad guys.
Okay.
And survive, because you gain different colors of dice. The more injured you get, you'll get more dice into your pool to kind of help you out. It's kind of like a deal.
That's really
There's
neat.
modules within the game. There's modules that let you. The hardest module, like what I was talking about earlier, actually puts like this dial, and it's like an above view of your person you are, and you actually
have to rotate
her, so the people at your back are more dangerous. So you're trying to try not to roll those and stuff. Because it's craziest, but the production of it is awesome. I'm excited because it's the first in the series of the solo deals. Renegade always does decent stuff, and each game takes maybe 10 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, because it's just 1 minute around, and you just go either you're gonna die or you're gonna kill them off. I think you have to kill 7.
I remember it was good enough for me to get my own copy because I was like, it sounded really cool.
Either.
Yeah,
it's like,
I think I got it for like $20.
Yeah, I bought mine at Origins from
Okay.
them for like 25 or 26. So because she showed me a quick demo, and I was just like, yep, this will be cool.
Right.
This is a quick little. I keep it at work actually.
Oh, really?
This game stays in my filing cabinet at the school because
I don't
on my
have that
lunch
luxury.
I can just sit down and.
The only game I've thought about bringing to work was Palm Island, because I'm like, I can keep it in my pocket.
Yeah.
Do it out on the floor. Okay.
So
Well,
I think you'll like it because I know you like a little bit of real time.
I do like real time.
Right, and I think just the.
Actually, I don't think there's been a real time game that I. Nope, that's not true. There was a real time game that I played that I absolutely hated.
Yeah. So just try this one out and see it, but it's definitely worth a shot. It's inexpensive, solo only.
Cool.
It's good stuff.
Awesome. My 77 is new to the list and is also a new game this year. It's a game that you and I played, actually, the first time we played it. And that is Res Arcana.
Oh, yes.
Res Arcana is a game by the Race for the Galaxy dude. Man, I'm totally drawing a blank on his name.
Starts with an L. Last name starts with an L, I believe.
Is it Matt? Matt
Leacock?
Matt Leacock? No. I don't remember.
You keep talking. I'll
Yep.
find it.
So Res Arcana is a wonderful card game that it's kind of a hand management game almost, because in the game you when you're setting up, you only get 8 cards, and that's it. The rest of the deck is put away, and that's every player has those 8 cards.
Thomas Lehman.
Yes. And with these 8 cards, at the beginning of the game, you look through the 8 and you're like, okay, this is the strategy of these 8 cards, and this is what I kind of need to go for. And you're playing to a certain amount of points. So then you shuffle the cards and then you draw, and then you kind of play them, and they all have special abilities. They have one-time use that you are just trying to use better than your opponent, and you're getting these like tokens. It's like your mana almost. There's like life, death, fire, water, and all that stuff, and you're trying to collect that and use it for your cards and your abilities to be able to purchase locations and purchase some monuments that also have special abilities to be able to get the most points. And what makes this game fantastic for me is that initial 8 cards. I love that idea of like it's a mini engine builder, really is what it is. You look at the 8 cards and you're like, okay, this is the strategy, this is what I gotta work with. Let's build an engine out of it and just see how well it works. So I desperately think it needs an expansion. It just needs more content, really, because now, I mean, there's enough in the base game, but I just want more, and there kind of needs to be more. And yeah. I
think, and now you probably know what I'm going to say,
Yep.
because of ArcPlay. I can see the greatness in the game. So I'm not going to say I don't like the game because I can see that stuff. What I think needs to be done though is you get those 8 cards.
Yep.
I think you should get like 10 and choose 8.
And choose 8. That's
because what happened in our game is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had 2 dragon cards that couldn't do anything. They were completely worthless.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, and it was like.
Yeah.
So like if you were able to get just a couple more cards and then maybe. Because that's not that big of a deal. You're still going to have the majority.
I would agree.
Randomness, but if you happen to have just like 1 dragon card, it's like, well, that's going to go away.
That's actually a good point. That's probably something you could easily. Easily do
because that was what I learned through that game. I was just like, well, I'm pretty much playing with a 6-card deck.
Yeah.
Because these aren't really doing anything.
And that's true. That is actually a really good point.
But we only played it one time too, so.
Yeah, and I've played it multiple times since then, and that hasn't come up. But
Right.
the fact that it can is still a problem. So you could easily do that because normally it's just you get the 8, you get to look at the 8, and that's what you got. Giving people 10 and they pick 8, that's not bad either.
Right. It gives them just a little
bit of mitigation to be like, okay. And because then you can look at it, for your example, I have a dragon card, but I don't have a dragon, so I don't want this one. And it might actually make it even more strategic because you might have a dragon and the dragon card, but you might be like, oh, those 2 aren't as good as the other ones that I have, so do I want to try and use that? That's a pretty good homebrew that you could probably do. I don't see that breaking the game.
I don't think it
at
would.
all. But it's really cool. Like, I want more locations because those are really good, and that's kind of a thing you kind of go for. And the monuments are really good too. So I hope he supports it. If it's anything like his other games, he will support it.
What's the company that this came out for? Do you remember?
No, Sandcastle Games?
I have it pulled up right here. I just was...
Is it, am I right? Am I right?
Sandcastle Games, yeah.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah. So we'll see. This just came out this year, so there's still room for expansions. But if this doesn't get expansions, I can see it not staying like.
It had a lot of positivity.
Yeah.
Positive reviews. I don't see why they wouldn't. It's,
right.
It's just a simple card game.
Exactly.
I mean, it can't be that expensive to.
Right. And I agree. So yeah, Res Arcana, my 77.
All right, my number 77 is a moldy oldie.
Gross. Old games.
It was. Well, you like this one though. It was 56 last year, 35 the year before that.
Okay.
I don't own this game anymore. I wish I did. I'm waiting for the Kickstarter that got pushed back until next year.
Defenders of the Realm.
Yes, Defenders of the Realm.
I was wondering what happened. I was like, wasn't the Kickstarter supposed to be this year?
It got jerked back to like the end of 2020
Ugh.
or something like that.
Ooh,
which I'm kind of
gross.
hopeful for because maybe they're like really
working on like art
or they're just trying to get it as good because I have a feeling it's going to be like a balls to the wall blowout.
I hope so.
Awesome version.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a reprint. This is a total second edition.
Oh, okay.
It's a total.
So yeah.
They've already done the reprint because they did that with the.
You're right. Things. Yeah.
This is a total second edition, so it's going to be completely different.
Awesome.
I hope they keep the art, but
I hope they don't. I mean, I get it's like that old
reserved.
School '60s, D&D art, which is fine.
That's not going to cost it for me though, one way or the other.
Yeah,
but.
for me, it's kind of like looking at old Magic the Gathering art to new. It's just like that is shit. Like this is all amazing.
Which is funny because I've never played D&D. You'd think I wouldn't want like the D&D
right.
art.
I mean, the art's not bad. Weird. It is. It
reminds
nostalgic.
me of the old Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Some of the stuff.
There was a cartoon.
Yeah, the old one back when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back when I was a little kid too. We're the same age.
Yeah, right. But anyway, so an awesome fantasy co-op game. They tried to do some stuff with Defenders of the Last Stand.
Mm-hmm.
It was post-apocalyptic. It failed. The one thing about Defenders of the Last Stand is they brought a story element into it. I have a feeling that they're doing that with this second edition of that because that was anything positive from Defenders of the Last Stand that was said was, hey, I like that story options. Mm-hmm. So they're going to throw it in with this game too.
It was supposed to come out December of this year, right, on Kickstarter?
Yeah, so
they pushed it back a year.
Right, so that's why I'm wondering if they're really focusing on it.
Yeah.
They're going to try to...
Yeah.
It's probably going to be
because the expansions kind of made that game was kind of fiddly, in terms of like especially adding the expansions, and they were good expansions once you got through the slog of the rules, but like the dragon expansion, which was really cool, but it was like, God, this, because you envision like Pandemic, and Pandemic, if there's one thing you got to give it, is it's slick. It's very streamlined. This one was not. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm probably going to go all in for everything for it. I very much like it. I got rid of it just because I was like, well, it's more convoluted to play, and I have every Pandemic. So
well, and I was searching for it.
Yeah,
a year. I think maybe last year, the year before, I was actually searching to get all this stuff again, and then I heard about the Kickstarter. I'm like, so I just pumped my brakes, held off. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the good stuff when it comes out. But I mean, it's just a wonderful. It, like he said, it has Pandemic mechanics of taint, or not taint. The taint happens
it was
after.
taint, yeah.
But they, if you get enough of the bad guys on a deal, they spread, explode.
Yep, they explode, and they had a bunch.
They're all trying to go to the center of the boards, and they all file through their paths, and you have to wipe them out to wipe out the goblin or the dragon or the
goblin,
demon.
Yep. And what I really liked about this one is you had unique factions, like fantasy factions. It wasn't your typical elf. You had those, but it was like druid, Valkyrie, hobbit. And so I always like that in any fantasy game where it's not, where it's it's races that you know, but they're not commonly used. Unlike games like Gloomhaven, where there are whole unique races to that game. It's like, oh yeah, I never see a Cyclops as a character or something.
Well, and then you have like the heroes were all, because they had all the hero packs that came out, so there was all kinds of unique of those. They had the classics, but then you had an Eagle Rider.
Yeah, Eagle Rider is what I was saying.
You had all these like oddball.
Yeah.
And then, it was just really, really cool, And Richard Lanius was who did this. Yes. So he just knows how to keep going. I hope they're just going to nail the second edition out of the park.
Man, that got pushed back a year, which means it's going to be like a year before the game even comes out.
Yeah.
Unless they're already getting everything prepped and planned, because there's companies that will do that. They'll go on Kickstarter.
It's Eagle Griffins. I mean,
they might already have everything lined up, and it's like, oh, Kickstarter, okay, because I've had Kickstarters come out like 3 or 4 months after they already released it, and I'm like, oh, that's already coming out.
Well, because it's gonna get a lot of money.
Yeah, it doesn't fund. It's like, what? We just buy multiple copies to make it fun.
Exactly.
All right. My number 76 is a game that you do not like, and I did not care for the campaign for it, but it has since come around on me. Obviously, it's on my list. It was number 65 last year, so it fell 21 spaces, and it was number 67 in 2017. So it stayed around the same spot. Fell a little because I haven't played it as much, but that's Near and Far.
Yes.
So Near and Far, real quick to get the issues that we thought of it out of the way, was for me it was the campaign of it was just like, oh, you just play 10 games of Near and Far and just that's it. Whoever has the most points at the end wins. It's like, oh, that's really cheap. But with Near and Far, it's actually, once you just play like a one-shot like game of it, or they have like the mode where you're a specific character, so you actually have like a personality and like level up that character. That's the way to play it. And it's very similar to Above and Below. You have except now in this one you have a town that you can go to buy magical items, go mining to place your tents, go get new recruiters to get more, or you can get like your turtle or I think it's like a kiwi that you ride on to move faster. And you actually have a storyboard that you move across, and that's where your scenarios happen from their book. That's where like you are trying to get trade routes, which are your big points at the end of the game, and your events and your fighting and things like that. So after chilling on the campaign, this is one of those games that if I were to redo my discussion, it would be a lot more positive than it was at the time. And I've thought about going back and redoing it, and I probably will, because I still need to play the Amber Mines expansion, which I've heard cleans up that mine area. Because another small negative is the game ends whenever someone finishes all this. So it's a race to just, I don't give a fuck about the story or the events, which are the whole big deal for me anyway. It's like, I'm just going to keep mining and just do away with with my tents and try and speed rush the game. And that's what the campaign turned into. The first game was awesome because we're like, oh, we're going to go here and we're going to read the event. And they do a lot better in the storybook than they do in Above and Below. Because in Above and Below, it's just like, here's something that happens, pick one or two.
Right.
In this one, there's actually key words that'll affect the story. There's like, okay, if you did this on this one, so connecting events, which I like a lot better. So they did make bigger strides for Near and Far. It's just their campaign fell flat, and that's what salted me on it for a while. But I have since tried it recently. Just, hey, one shot, let's try it, and I had a lot of fun because we were trying to get our points and place our tents, but we were also exploring, similar to the very first Near and Far campaign game.
Yeah,
I would encourage you to try it again, but I don't know how often you tried it last time. Like, whenever. And
Twice.
Above and Below for me is 104.
Yeah.
So Above and Below did not make the list. Near and Far did.
To me, the gameplay of Above and Below and the not as necessarily as great storytelling still trumps the better storytelling, and that.
Yeah.
Mind you, I understand that the one shot deal and the very different ways of play and stuff. I like the aesthetics of Above and Below. I think
And Above and Below is quicker.
Yeah.
Like, because it's actually on a round thing versus the tents.
Right.
I wish Near and Far it was also on a round, and it's like you got more points for the tents you had out. It wasn't the end game.
And I like how you're building. You have your village right in front of you.
Yeah.
You're building. Stuff like
the events
that.
are if you go on the underground. Above and Below is still a great game.
Yeah.
It's just Near and Far at the end of the day had more for me. So it popped it up even more, and I don't think he's doing any more expansions. He's been Red Raven Games and Ryan Lockett have been doing a lot of Kickstarters lately. I backed one of them.
That's been delivered a while back.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. There was another one that he did.
The Ancient Gods or the something.
Sleeping Gods.
Sleeping
Gods. I went in for because his art is amazing. Their storytelling is very. It's not like as intricate as, like, let's say the not Tainted Grail, the Awakened Realm storytelling, but it's still really good, very lighthearted but fun. His worlds are always engrossing, and I love. It's like, oh man, this is so nice. So
I think the only Red Raven game I even own anymore is Above and Below.
Yeah. Did you end up getting the other expansions, the Sand and Swamp expansion?
That came with the Near and Far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just bought that because somebody. I don't know. I got the Near and Far Kickstarter edition from somebody. I sold Near and Far,
but kept the Above and Below stuff.
With them knowing that I kept the Above and Below
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. And I still have Above and Below, and I won't get rid of it because they are different enough that it's like you can keep both and get a different feel for it. And yeah, so I don't think they're gonna support Near and Far anymore. They don't really do a lot of support.
Support any of the other ones.
Yeah, they just kind of make their game and they move on to something else, which that's fine too. So that's my number 76.
I'm wondering if they'll ever do like a second edition because with City of Iron they made the second edition of City of Iron.
Yeah, maybe they learned their lesson.
That was their first
City
one.
of Iron
City of Iron was his first. And
yeah,
they made a second edition. I'm wondering if he'll do that with
maybe
Above and Below and stuff, maybe, and do better storytelling. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's or at least do maybe in a better book.
He could.
I don't know.
Or make a third one called like In and Out or something.
The porn
up and down.
Industry.
Yeah,
In and Out the porn. Like
you're one guy who just goes into the
frogs and stuff.
Rabbits.
Yeah.
Like, this is weird. What happened to you, Ryan?
All right, so my number 76 is a new game to me.
New game on the list?
Yeah, new game on the list. It's not a new game, like, in general. But it was recommended by you.
Hey!
I've only played it... This is what makes it weird. I've only played it once.
Okay.
And it's at 76. Because I know I'm going to play it more and enjoy it.
Okay.
Awakened Realms.
Oh, this War of Mine?
Yeah!
I was thinking Overlords of Infamy, because that's the only time you played it, too. And that was another one.
Oh, yeah. And, well, you know what? I wanted to buy that stuff. I was going to buy it because he had a deal at Origins.
Was he was at Origins,
yeah. but he ran out.
Yeah. Yeah, he sells out at every convention that he goes to.
But anyway, this War of Mine, I've never really played the
video game.
That
the board
much.
game is way better.
I went through and I did the board game, played solo, and barely scratched the surface.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do very well. But so it's definitely one I'm not going to get rid of it because I wanted to explore it and, and stuff. There's a lot in that box, especially with the Kickstarter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much crap in that box. Kind of depressing on the theme. There's tough decisions to be made.
Yep.
But it's very realistic. As far as this decision, you theme wise, obviously you're gonna hear it again later. Is it World War II?
I'm actually not quite sure which war it is.
I picture World War II when
I
see it.
Yeah, it probably is World War II.
But it's not about the war necessarily at all. It's about the civilians in a war-torn city having to find ways to survive. And whether it's, they just have to survive. It's just a shitty life and the deal.
Yeah, gotta make do with what you got.
Yeah. And like I said, I haven't touched hardly any of the modules or anything in there.
We did the Heart of the City module. That's a small one. We did the Children's module, which is that one's hard because you gotta feed them just as much. You have to make sure that they're happy, and they're never happy.
Right.
They did a mini expansion which was just like a TV. It's a little just 5.
Yeah. I haven't seen
that you can build just a TV and just have it. But I've never tried the sewers. I've never tried there's just so much to add.
Well, I think the thing about it is because it looks very complex, and it is a complex game. But what they've done right, especially for people like me, that is they teach you as you play.
Yep.
And that's a big thing.
Yep.
With that book, if they just gave you a 50-page rule book and been like, here's the game and stuff, that would have sucked.
Yeah.
I probably never would have played it.
Yeah, they wanted you to be able to open the box, grab the journal, and play, and you can. Yeah. For people like me, though, I wanted to know the rules. I wanted to know, okay, what are specific things, and in the storybook is where you find advanced rules, and you can just stumble upon it. It's like, hey, you found this. Did you know that you can do this? It's like, that would have been nice to know, because this is hard. Now, I have one major complaint with that game, and it is the water mechanic. Because if my understanding and based on the rules, you need water for each individual person.
Yes.
Food is fine. Food you can just find easier. Water is damn near impossible to find.
Right.
So, you have to build a water filter. You have to build, or a rainwater collector. You have, if you don't build that, you might as well just not play because you're gonna lose.
Right.
I house ruled it. 1 water bead covers everyone.
Gotcha.
Try that if you end up finding that water is kicking your ass, because it's so hard. And I will say, if people are like, you made it too easy, it does not make it any easier. Right. It makes it fun and still very difficult, because your people are all fucked up. They're sick and wounded and sad. And did you get Anton? Did you get? Yeah, oh man, lucky you, because he was in my top 10 worst.
He was the old dude.
He's the mathematician, and he offers nothing. He's not strong. He's just a fuck off. Yeah, and it's it makes you feel bad, because you're like, look, this is just some guy who he's a math teacher, and it's he has super high empathy, which is awful to have, because then if people die, he's miserable now, and he can't carry anything. So it's okay, well, I'm not going to send him out. And then if you get a book, because they have the cards that are do everyone's B spirit.
Right.
If you have a book, then he's happy, but he stays up all night reading, so now he's tired. And if you don't have a book, then he's miserable. And it's like, okay, we're just gonna take you out back and just shoot you because you are a waste of space.
It'll make us all happy.
Yeah, everyone's misery goes down. But yeah, like I'm really glad it's on your list. That makes me happy.
Yes, because there's so much to it, and it's pretty much a solo game.
It is like
so I mean, that's,
you pass that book around, and each person would make a different decision based off the phase.
Because I will guarantee nobody else at my house is going to play that game with me.
Right.
So it needed to be solo.
Yeah.
And it's not a forced solo, because I mean that's how the game, the video game is solo. You know, it's all.
And what do you think about people not controlling an individual person? What do you think about the mechanic where everyone controls, like they're all just there, and everyone as a team, or you as a player, I guess, if you were playing with someone else, you would all decide where these guys go.
Right.
Like, what do you think about that? Because I'm intrigued.
So you mean,
like, normally in a lot of games, I'm Anton.
Right.
You are Bruno.
Right.
You're those. Then we decide where we go.
Gotcha.
In this game, no one. Well, you're playing it solo, so you do have that.
I do,
but in multiple games, like if you were playing with me, there's just the people there, and decide, and we as a group decide where they go. Or technically, if you pass it to me and it's the day phase, then I would get to decide where they go because the journal's in my book.
That's true.
Like, doesn't really. I mean, as a solo, you control everyone, and that's where I think it was meant to be a solo game.
Right.
But I've done, I would say, a max of 2 with that game, because you do, like, it's one other person to be like, this is what I want to do, and they're like, well, what if we did this instead? And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you can banter. It gives you that little banter of, like, the shitty situation. Like, there are some, like, we cannot stress lightly enough, there are some dark scenarios. Like, and one of them we found out, it wasn't, you didn't really see, obviously not see, there's no pictures, but didn't really read, but it was very much alluding to an abortion. So that's just, there you go. Like, so, if people are like, oh, you get to survive a war? No, yep, you do. And it sucks. Anton is just the worst. I hate him. We have literally thought about sending him outside, because you can have him go out and, like, roll a 1, get sniped, just get, like, come on, just and go find someone. If you find someone, then great. If not, then that's okay. We'll do without. And it's really good. So 76, huh? I can see that going higher, especially if you play a lot more.
Yeah, for sure.
Neat. 75 is new to the list, and a new game in general, and this is another hidden movement game called Anomaly. Anomaly is made by Sterling Games, same company that did Everdell, Black Orchestra, Planetarium, and Archmage. That game was not that good. But Anomaly is actually a really unique hidden movement game. So it's kind of similar to the one that you said where no one knows who everyone is. It's not a hidden role, but everyone's movement is hidden. So it's a one versus all. So I'm playing the Anomaly, and the other people are playing students that are trying to survive some space school. But everyone has their movement board behind the screen, so I'm moving around trying to find out where they're at, and they're moving around trying to find out where I'm at, but they can attack and shoot into rooms. And one of the unique mechanics is, let's say one guy shoots into a room, and if I'm there with another person, then I take the damage. But if I'm not there and they shoot in, then they can damage each other. And there's kind of a tug-of-war track as I feed on them, then their overall health goes down and I go up. So as they damage, it's like this, almost like the Star Wars Rebellion, where the token, if the tokens meet, then I win. So it's really cool, because it's also one of those games with a mechanic that I very much like, that if they play a card for its ability, then it comes to me for its opposite ability. So the more they do, the more I get to do. But they can play cards for other things where I don't get them. And the theme is really cool. The fact that there's, like, I have to get a certain number of feeding tokens, then I can evolve. So then I have, like, these different abilities that I can flip face up. And it's like, oh, now I can do this. Like, now I can put lightning in a room that'll damage anyone who goes through it. But I'm this evolution. I've adapted. So now I can heal in rooms with lightning tokens. And or if the one that I picked was the very first one, was if they do like anything other than like a basic action, they had to reveal themselves. So it was like, I don't know, echolocation or something like that. So I just knew where they were almost at all times unless they played a basic action. It's a really cool hidden movement game, very unique. And because whenever I went to Gen Con last year, I was like, what makes this different from the 15 other hidden movement games out there? And he explained it to me. The one selling point was everyone has a hidden movement dial. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, that could be cool. So
yeah, I watched like a review of this online. They talking about it and stuff. It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it definitely deserves to be in the collection because I mean I have a lot of hidden movement games, but they all have to be different and they all have to be balanced. And initially, Kat and my friend Devin thought that it was unbalanced, and I was like, if you watch my run through, which will come up soon, you could see me like Kat was making some complaint, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm like, you just hit me for like 4 damage. Like, how was like, and you hit me, you're about to hit me. Like, I was like, this game is not unbalanced. So it's just because you're not the one hidden that it always feels like that. It's the nature of hidden movement. But that's my 75 anomaly.
All right, my number 75 is another kind of filler game.
Okay.
Very popular. It was 82 last year. 77 the year before, so 82, 77, 75. It's just kind of
I've been around the same.
And then it's King of Tokyo.
Okay. Ooh, you're gonna get the Dark World King of Tokyo or whatever it is.
What?
They're re-releasing King of Tokyo. It's like
really?
some dark city thing. I saw it on like a blog and I was like, I don't care. I'm not getting that.
Yeah, it's just King of Tokyo by itself. It's just a fun game. Like my parents will play King of Tokyo, you know, because they know how to play Yahtzee.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's really all it is, and then you just resolve the dice, and I like it better than New York. Mm-hmm. New York was on my list, but it's like way up in the
shot up
in the hundreds or whatever. Just because the simplicity, especially with the power up, you like playing it with the power up expansion. Mm-hmm. Like where you have each monster is a little different.
Yeah,
is awesome.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to, but it just makes it
probably
cool.
Should.
Yeah.
At least I would.
Yeah, but anyway, so you get your monster in Tokyo. Any damage you do up there damages everybody on the outside. Any damage they do goes into Tokyo. But if they damage you, you can choose to leave and make them go into Tokyo. It's just kind of that back and forth kind of thing, and you just walloping each other. And you can buy upgrades to make you more powerful or have more defense or odds and ends. I mean, this game's been out for
a while,
a handful of years now. And it's
this was also Richard Garfield.
Was it?
I think so. No, wait, no, not Richard Garfield. Sorry, it is Smash Up. God damn it, Munchkin guy.
Was it?
Maybe it's Richard. I remember the name. Surprised me on who made it.
So anyway, but there's all kinds of monsters and everything that you can pick up. Just like little monster expansions. There's a Cthulhu one.
Yes, it is Richard Garfield.
Really. There's Cthulhu. There's all these other monsters that you can play. What's cool is if you get the New York, those monsters will work in Tokyo as well. But it's super simple. Games don't last very long at all. Kids can play it because it's pretty simple. Mm. You know, there's the decisions aren't that decisive in this game.
Right.
You know, you don't have to choose who you're damaging. If you get damage, you're damaging the person in Tokyo. If they get damaged, they're damaging everybody else. There's not like I'm gonna pick on you. I'm gonna pick on you.
Right.
It's, you know. So it's pretty clean cut. But yeah, it'll probably be one that's on my list for quite a while, just because it's just. Good filler.
Game I have never played.
You've never played
King of Tokyo? I have never played King of Tokyo.
God.
Yeah, well, I never got around to it, and I just...
We definitely need to play it then at some point, because, I mean, it's literally a...
It's like a must.
Yeah, it's like... like everybody has to have it in their collection, I think.
Alright, 74. So, my 74 was 79 last year. I rose 5 spaces. And... in 2017, it was number 74, so it actually stayed the same. And this is the game that I don't think I'll ever get rid of. Like, I love the RPG element of it. I love the world that it's in, and the app is also really, really good. And that is Star Wars Imperial Assault. So, finally got around to playing it, just to kind of test out the app. I have not done. This is going to be another series that I kind of have a list of series that I want to do, and actually I've finished all of them except for Kingdom Death Monster. That's still the ongoing one. Mm-hmm. So Tainted Grail is the new one, but this is one that I've been wanting to do because this game probably does Star Wars the best, in my opinion, out of all the ones that are out that I've played. So I think it's better than Rebellion, but they're all completely different games. But this is a RPG in Star Wars. You play a character that over the course of the campaign that you're growing, you're getting better upgrades, better gear to go into these different scenarios. It was a one versus all, which I did a short campaign. I think I played like 5 or 6 games years ago, where it was one versus all. And it was still a lot of fun. And then the app made it to where now it's fully cooperative, and then the app controls it, which makes it way better. But this game improved the shitty Descent, where it's like, you guys do everything, then I do everything. It does the back and forth. It also does something that's very, very simple. But you put stickers, this is the shitty part, but you put stickers on the bases, and that's how you know who's activated. Which is just really nice, because there's like a lot of games where it's like, oh crap, who did I miss? And it was a very just easy way of telling the player who has gone. I really like the way that the campaigns are set up, because you decide kind of what objective you want to go to. You have side missions you can go on to try and get people's unique gear, and you can pass or fail, and it's based around that. I feel like both sides are equally balanced, and it engrosses you very well into Star Wars. Like, you're not playing Anakin, you're not, but they're in there.
Right,
like they,
they're NPC.
They're NPCs that you can aid, or they can aid you in a scenario. And I have everything for it, except I don't have like the packs, the hero packs. I want them just to have the mini instead of the token, but I'm not going to go out of my way. There were so many. I've never tried the skirmish version, and I have no interest in trying the skirmish for this game. But it's staying around the 70s. Like I was actually very surprised that it was 74, and I moved back 5 spaces last year because I hadn't played it.
Yeah, I remember.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, they do not have everything for the app yet. They have
most of it.
They do have most of it, but I think they're missing 1 or maybe two expansions. So, and they did announce that they are done with Imperial Assault. So
that's probably not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. They're gonna focus more. I mean, they're still making Arkham Horror Living Card Game stuff. Now they're doing Arkham Horror 3rd Edition stuff and Mansions of Madness. So they have a lot of stuff that they need to do they need to do content for. So that's my number 74.
All right.
There's no way it's on your list.
My number 74 is... Wait a second. That's what I was looking to see real quick. It's on here somewhere. It was 119.
Okay.
And it's just because I haven't played it very much.
Yeah.
Because I don't have everything. I only have Hoth and the core.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to buy the expansions when they were available. Then they all sold out. Because you're a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, yes. Which, my number 74 is a Star Wars game. So we have the theme crossover.
There we go.
This is new to my list.
Okay.
It's kind of my hotness right now.
Oh, okay.
Is Star Wars Destiny.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I'm not going to play it competitively necessarily, but I know enough people that will play this 1v1 that it's got a hold of me.
It's got my veins.
I'm going to end up probably spending too much money on it, but Star Wars Destiny is the 1v1 competitive card/dice game. You are going to pick 2 characters. Each player will. They'll get their appropriate dice. You build a 30-card deck. Some of those cards will have dice on them, or will require dice and stuff too. Some will be just events, stuff like that. So you'll also get a location. Each of you will choose a location. And then how a game will start is you'll roll your character's dice. You'll tally up their numbers that come up. Whoever has the biggest number will get to choose which battlefield we're going to be battling on.
Okay.
So then the battlefield will have a different claim ability. So like,
okay.
So whoever wins will do that, and they'll be the first player. So they'll take an action, then you take it. It's just action, 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 action till both pass. When you claim the area, that means you're done for the turn. So the first person to do that gets the claim ability, but then they don't get any more actions.
I see.
So it's
okay.
a timing thing because, like Chad yesterday, he would claim something, but I still hadn't even activated and rolled my dice for one of my deals. So I got to roll the dice, and then I could just hammer on him.
Okay.
And keep doing actions because he had
so once you claim, okay.
Passed.
Now how do you win?
By killing the two people.
Okay.
So you have to kill the two opposing characters or deck them, because there is a mechanic and there's a symbol on some dice, depending on what you do, that are discard cards.
Okay.
So you're discarding cards out of their hand. Well, you draw back up to 5.
Now, are there pre-constructed decks, or
there are?
Okay,
there
but
are.
it's mainly deck construction.
Yeah, it'd be like Netrunner and any of those like that. But you can. There's like the 2-player starters, a constructed deck.
Yeah.
Those little starter character deals are already pre-constructed.
Okay.
But deck construction is super easy.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean you just want to get some colors because there's gray is neutral, there's yellow characters, blue characters, red characters. So you want cards that are going to use the die.
Yeah.
You want some cohesiveness between those. But you just battle it out. It's simple. The matches don't. I mean, I think if you play competitively, it's like 30 minutes a match.
Okay.
Is all the match is.
Fantasy Flight, right?
Yeah.
The ones you made it,
yeah. It's been going. This being a competitive game, it's been going for 3 years now.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I mean, it's been going, and it's still
because they have that one, and they have Legends of the Five Rings.
Yeah, which Legends of the Five Rings I think is about ready to die.
You think?
Yeah, because it's just not played anywhere at all. Like Destiny has a huge following,
which sucks because Legend of the Five Rings was really cool.
Yeah, I just think they had too many competitive.
Yeah.
Like the Marvel Champions is coming out.
Oh, you're right. Well, that's not a competitive one though.
Right, but I mean, it's saying LCGs. Like you sit here and you talk about LCGs, it's like okay, so many people are diving into Arkham. And already have. Tons of people are going into Marvel.
Yep.
The Lord of the Rings somehow is still going.
But I think they're not supporting that anymore.
Yeah.
They quit the Game of Thrones.
Just had one,
but they're done.
Expansion come out.
Yeah, they're done with both of those. So the only living card games they have now is the Marvel Champions, which is their newest one, and then Arkham Horror is still going strong. So
yeah, and then they have Legend is still going too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's just competitive. I mean, and the dice rolling, there's a lot of dice manipulation because that was one of the worries for me because I've always seen this game and I love Star Wars. I didn't jump on it because I
thought it was luck. That's what I thought too.
But there's so much dice manipulation in it.
So are the dice unique to the card?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had Rey, right?
Yeah.
So Rey has her dice. And then when I had enough, because you get resources like money to pay to play cards, so I in my hand I had Rey's lightsaber. So you put it down and it has stats for dice. So you get the Rey dice and it sits on it. So then when one of your actions is to activate a character.
Yep.
So if you had 3 attachments on Rey, and 2 of them had dice plus her dice, when you activate her, you roll all 3 of those dice and then go into an active pool.
Okay.
So then one of your actions could be to discard a card out of your hand to re-roll any of your dice in your active
pool. Oh, okay.
Pool.
Any of them, not just all of them?
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot of manipulation and stuff on it. So, but it's really caught me. I've spent like $140 on dice right now. It's just nuts, but it's awesome though too.
Cool.
It's a good competitive 1v1 game. I wish there was like rules that you could go like 2v2. I'm sure there's variants people have come up with and stuff. But yeah, Star Wars Destiny.
Neat.
I was late to the party, but it's good stuff.
Number 73. My number 73 is a game that you have never played.
What do you think?
No, I know for a fact because I have your copy. It was number 47 last year, so it fell 26 spaces, and it was number 30 in 2017. And that is Mechs vs. Minions.
Oh, yeah.
Did a series for this on the channel. One of the first we actually finished completely, and it was just so much fun. If you don't know, Mechs vs. Minions is a programming game where you control a mech. What are they called? Yodels or Yiddles or something from League of Legends. I've played League once. Through swathes of minions, and you're trying to complete different scenarios. Each camp or each game of that is just a different scenario that you have to do. And in the game, each character has a unique set of upgrade power that they can get, and they can do their upgrade over time for each minion that they kill, and then everyone's time drafting for specific abilities. And what's really cool is that deck never changes, so over the course of this campaign you get more familiar with what you need to do. And I really did like that, because a lot of the games will add more, and I'm really glad they just kept it the same, because each card had different tiers, so you program and you stack them upon each other and to get either its level 2 or 3 ability. And so you just program, you draft certain cards, you try and program, be like, I need to move 1 forward and then turn right and then move 3 and then attack. And sometimes things just don't go your way. If you take damage, then you take I can't remember what the card was, but a malfunction card that goes into your program, which can just throw everything out of whack. But this one was just extremely solid for especially the company that made it, Riot Games. They made this one thing,
swung for the fence.
And yeah, swung for the fence. They're like, hey, we're a $1 billion company. Let's make a board game, and it was $70.
They make a board game and charge it $50 less than what we probably should have.
Yeah, exactly. Just to see, and then everyone loved it. Everyone was trying to get a copy. This was one that I think needs an expansion, but what I heard is that now Riot Games has an actual department for board games. So there
might be some more stuff.
So they started actually being okay, we'll just have a division that focuses on board games from us. So I'm very excited to see what happens with that, and maybe they'll do a Mechs vs. Minions 2.
Yeah. Or I'd be interested to see what their profit was on that. If they made a profit.
Right.
If they broke even, if they lost, just to see.
Yeah.
Because they've got the popularity, anything they put out now. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are going to buy.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Especially when they start making stuff, they're going to be oh God, Mechs vs. Minions was so good, and it was very high quality. I'm curious to see how they go in the future. If they keep their games cheap but high quality because they have the money to do so,
yeah.
Or if they realize, we kind of lost money making that, and we can make more. So we'll see what they do. But Mechs vs. Minions is a very solid cooperative programming game that's very fun, very lighthearted in its theme, humorous as well. That I just want more from them. So that's my 73.
All right, my number 73 was new to the list.
Okay.
I actually got it from you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sweet. No idea.
Is Among the Stars.
Oh, okay.
I've been wanting this game for a long time. I owned it a long time ago, and got rid of it, and then didn't have it for a long time until I got. Mm-hmm. It's Space Seven Wonders.
Yeah.
With a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you play stuff is a little more too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seven Wonders isn't like that, but it's. I played it with my wife, and she doesn't necessarily like space stuff super well, but she really got into this because
did she? Oh, okay.
Well, she loves Seven Wonders is her all-time game, So, and I really enjoyed it. I wish the square cards are annoying, but I know why they have them because of
the way you have to play it. It's essentially a tile placement,
right? Game. I just wish. You have to buy those stupid sleeves, those square sleeves, and it's just annoying. But because me and my wife like Seven Wonders as much as we do, this game automatically with the drafting just goes right up to the top.
Yep.
Oh, not top. I guess not top. 73.
73, yeah. The top of the back end of the list.
Right. I haven't tried. We just did base game too, so I don't know how anything else will go.
One of the expansions gives you a unique alien's ability. One of the actual cards is Tom Vassal.
Oh, really?
I think so.
But it's just, it's the next step up a little bit from Seven Wonders. It's not complex by any means,
no.
but it's just you're actually having to you're drafting, but then
you're building your own space station, right?
It, yeah.
Okay.
So you're actually placing it, and where you place it isn't. Mm-hmm. It matters.
It does matter because you have the batteries.
You're just grabbing and having this another green.
Yeah.
This is blue. Stuff like that. This one actually has some spatial
awareness. That's
the word I was looking for. So anyway, yeah, Seven Wonders. It's Stronghold Games. Pulled it over from Artipia Games over in Europe.
Yep.
Stronghold brought it over. They really don't do anything else for it. There's been some branch off games like Red Dawn and some other stuff that are like board games based in that universe.
Yeah.
But they're not, but yeah, it's a good one. I mean, it's
yeah. It never hit the table for me.
Yeah.
And so that's why when you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, sure, here you go. I knew whenever you asked me if I had all the expansions, I knew I had expansions. I thought that was all of them.
Right.
I can't remember which ones I had. Alliance and some other ones.
Yeah.
But I got it actually in a trade as well. And it was... I could never determine what the hell the expansions were.
Because it all gets mixed together.
Yeah.
I had to like pull up contents.
Yeah.
And I sorted it all out. And that's how I figured out. But
yeah, and I was like, oh, well.
But yeah, it's a good one, for sure. I like drafting.
Exactly. Card drafting is fantastic. I just did my top 10 board game mechanisms because I realized we never put it up on the channel years ago, and I was like, oh shit, I better do that. And it ended up being my number 1. So
yeah.
All right. My number 72 is a game I mentioned earlier. It was number 95 last year, so it rose 23 spots because I have played it more. And in 2017, it was not even on the list. But it is an old game. And I definitely want to get the other maps for it, and that's Power Grid. Power Grid is a very interesting game, very mathy is whenever we were talking about that.
Sure.
But which I think throws a lot of people off. It's not so much... It is... I mean, you have to keep track of how much money you have and how much you're going to be gaining and spending, but it's not like... You're not doing like equations or anything. It's not like yours at the very end of like Bunny Kingdoms where you're like, okay, so I did this, and this, and I have to like. It's round by round. It's very manageable because Kat actually liked this, and she whenever she saw, because I played a 4-player game one time, and she walked in and she's like, oh, I don't want to, like I won't like this, and she ended up doing pretty well. She went all energy, and she just had free shit the entire time, where I'm like paying all oil, and I'm just like, give me my stuff.
My daughters and wife loved it too.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean that was like a few years ago. My daughters were even young. I mean, so it's
one of those games that it's so solid in its rules and relatively simple in gameplay that it's really cool. And I've only ever played the Europe side, where
the American side.
Yeah, the American side where like the East is all expensive shit, and then the West is all expensive and kind of cheapens as it goes. Yeah. I really like it. I love the placement of your factories and how like the more factories you get, that's how you go up on the track, and it has a really neat balancing mechanic where the higher you are up, the more difficult and the more you pay. Because most people are getting their resources like, oh yeah, I'll pay $1 for 15 pieces of coal, and now I'm going last, and I'm like, okay, so every coal is $8. All right, so I really like that. I like the different factories, how you can do. There's coal, oil, uranium, and then wind energy. And wind energy, there's no upkeep. So basically, the factory cards that you have out indicate how many you can power, and then the more you power, that's how much money you get each round. So if I can power 7 cities, then I get this much money for it. That's $80 million, $80. So then that's what I have. It's paper money, which is disgusting.
Mine had card money.
You had card money?
Well, because a friend of mine,
as
a gift, he went to that crafter Game Crafter.
Game Crafter.
And he made playing cards.
Oh.
Like decks of playing cards that were money.
I might do that.
So
paper money is atrocious, and it's Freedom and Freeze.
Yeah.
I think, and he just likes paper money.
It's cheap.
Yeah, it is cheap. It's probably free at this point. They're like, dude, we'll just give it to you.
Yeah.
But no, we feel you clearly have dementia because you like paper money, so here it is for free.
Yeah, he just found the denominations of the money and made playing cards for me. And it has like dollar.
Yeah,
$100
that's probably what I'll have to do because paper money is just awful.
Or you can use poker chips.
Could use poker chips. But yeah, like Power Grid's very solid. They have a bunch of maps but they're pricey. Like some of the maps, and they're actually about to release another expansion for it. But this is one of those things that it works well. Like you can be like, okay, well let's go to Japan and let's do this, and that'll change up how you're placing, and it's really good. It's very solid. It rose 23 spots just because of how solid it is.
It didn't quite make my 100. But
dude, was it on it wasn't even a contender?
It was in my list. It was 152.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's just not because it's a bad game. It's just not ever
you can just see the shift, and because I played it even more since the first time I played it last year, and I'm just like, this is a really good game. I need to do the American side, but number 72.
All right, my number 72. I don't think you've played yet. It's still sitting over there on the shelf.
No, if it's on that shelf, I have not played it.
Tasty Minstrel Games. It's Coliseum.
Coliseum, yeah.
And
it requires 3 people, and I'm like, it's easier for me to trial games if it's 2. I'm like, let's get this out.
Yeah, so it's 72 this time. Last year it was 28.
Okay.
And then 18 the year before that.
Damn.
And I think it's just because it's just not getting played very much, But Coliseum, it's the reprint. I've never played the old original version. It's got a unique deal because pretty much the theme of it is that you are putting on shows in the Coliseum, and you are trying to put on the single best show throughout the 3 or 4 rounds of the game. So what's cool about it, and I know there's a couple other games that have done this. I can't tell you right now, but so you will your score will be whatever your highest show was that you did for that game. Whether it could have been your second show, you scored 80 points, but if you didn't score above 80 on any of the other rounds, then 80 is going to be your in-game score. It generally doesn't work like that. Generally, the third and fourth
they're going
rounds
up like
that. Because you're getting more resources, bigger shows, more stuff. But you can buy different things to put in your Coliseum, like a little Emperor hut. I can't remember what they're called. Emperor huts, grandstands, and stuff. Yeah. But all the while, there are like the Senator, the Emperor, and something else there moving around the Coliseum, and we each have our little grandstands and stuff set around our zones.
Okay.
So part of it is when it's your turn, you're moving those people around. If you happen to get like the Emperor is at your Coliseum, when you do it, then you get extra bonus money.
Oh, okay.
If he's there, and so on and so forth. There's trading phases. There's tons of resources that you'll draft up resources.
Okay.
Throughout the deal, you will. There's an open trading phase. You can trade to try to help, because what it is you're trying to collect a set to complete the show.
Yep.
And once you complete the show, then you get gold, victory points, more research. It's pretty good. Like, it's a Euro through and through. There isn't much. There's no attacking. When I first seen Coliseum, I was like, oh, it's gladiator games and stuff, but it's not. You're just putting on,
because there were things other than like fighting in the Coliseum.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just like the uniqueness of you're building up for that one big deal. So there's no really runaway leader per se, because it's one show can win you the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like somebody gets up by 50 points.
And it's like it's pretty much over, yeah.
You can just sit and build up.
I'm intrigued, to see if someone gets like an 80-point show, if it's like... Because that basically gives everyone a goal. It's like, okay, that's his best show so far, so I need to at least beat that. Yeah. And it's like, I wonder if it's ever any discouragement where it's like, I can't ever.
Well, there's bonuses for where the Emperor is. Like, you get extra bonuses with the Emperor or whatever. There's stuff that you can buy that'll give you bonuses. like every show you complete gives you bonuses for the next show.
Oh, okay.
So you can't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to build anything this round. I'm not going to build anything this round. The more of those you complete each round, actually make your last show more profitable too.
I got
so you're wanting to be building up and doing shows and stuff. So
I see. Okay.
It's a good one for sure. There's a lot of punching in the game because there's the tokens are really small squares that you use for the resources and stuff. But
a lot of punching of tokens. I thought you meant like punching in the game. I was like, or outside of the game. It's like your show was shit.
No. Like actual punch. There's a lot of
tokens.
Stuff
Gotcha.
You have to do. But yeah, Colosseum. A lot of people complain about the art of this new version.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't. The art doesn't really do it for me one way or the other.
Right.
I just like the game.
Yep.
But yeah, Colosseum by TMG.
My number 71, the last one for this segment, is a really good cooperative game that has spawned 2 other versions that are not as good as this one. Last year it was number 87, so it has rose 16 spots. And in 2017 it wasn't on the list, probably because I hadn't played it yet. But that is The Captain is Dead. I've talked about this one in other lists before, and this is a really good cooperative game. If you don't know, the theme is your captain is dead. And you were playing like the other people that are trying to... that are trying to survive. Because in the first one, there's aliens that are attacking your ship, and you're trying to survive their attacks because if your shield goes all the way down to 0 and you take a damage, your ship blows up and you die. God. Freaked out. Oh, that might be Cat. You're back!
What?
You're back! Keep her quiet, please. So... Oh, where was I at? Hold on, I'm gonna shut that door. That freaked me out.
You were saying that you talked about it before, and you were talking about the theme of the deal. You're like, the captain's dead.
Yeah. Anyway. If all the aliens come out, you're overwhelmed and you die. Similar. It has a very pandemic feel, just because of just some of the mechanics of like, if all the aliens come out, that's if all the diseases come out and you can't place any, then you lose. But it's really cool. Because everyone has a unique ability, everyone has a number of actions, and a inherent type of skill. Because how you complete things is through a hand of cards that are color coded. It's like, okay, to activate the missile room to launch a missile and destroy an alien ship, you need 2 reds and orange, which is like 2, like military and engineering, or things like that. And some of them have innate abilities that reduce the amount you need. How you win is depending on the difficulty. You need to get your jump drive fixed, which is destroyed. You need to get that to a certain area, and then you win.
Right.
This is actually it's a really solid, difficult game to play. Oh, you have played it. We played it together.
It once.
Yeah.
We were playing it on the easy version.
Yeah.
And we were getting our asses stomped, so you even made it down to
the
baby version.
Like, there we go, we did it! Well, it's because it's one of those games that you have to have like 4 people. I think we played it with just the 2, and it's like, we can't get enough done here.
Yeah, we played with 2.
So
we played with 2 characters, though, I think.
Did we play with 2 characters each?
Maybe.
I think we did.
Color. So can you play with 2 of the same? Okay. So
no, because everyone like, you basically shuffle the colors, and then everyone gets, and they get to pick from that color. But this is a really solid campaign cooperative game. The other 2 versions are not as good. The second one was called Lockdown, and you're sneaking around the alien ship, so they captured you. And each of them are kind of its own story. You can play all of them in a row if you win all of them. And yeah, so the aliens captured you, and then you have to sneak around, but there's like an alarm, so it's like, okay, every time we kill an alien, the alarm goes up, and it wasn't as good. And then the third one, which came out at Gen Con this year, was because you were trying to steal an alien ship in the second one, is you steal an alien ship and then you crash on a planet, and it becomes a tower defense kind of game. There's tracks where the bugs are moving,
Right.
and you're trying to kill them and rebuild the ship and then escape. That one's better than the second one, but I think the first one's the best out of them all. So that's my 71.
All right, my number 71. We're gonna go on this same trend that this list, all the lists have been going.
Okay.
Let me get this out right.
I was like, yep, the same
This
trend.
is the third game in a company of games that have been down and have grown.
Oh, okay.
Right. Sorry, I couldn't.
I
get
was
it
like,
out.
yeah,
this game
sure.
was 81 last year.
Okay.
Not rated the one before. Stonemeyer Games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's viticulture.
Mm.
So they all were kind of down, you know, and they've all kind of bounced back just because I've kind of got on a little kick of running through the
Stonemeyer
solo
games.
deal
Yep.
and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And Amy played this one with me, and she liked it. Winemaking doesn't sound very enthusing.
Right.
The cover doesn't look very exciting.
Right.
You know,
No,
so-
not at all.
But it actually is a really good game. It's obviously because it's my highest Stonemeyer Games one on my list
Okay.
of stuff. Yeah, it's winemaking. There's a lot of cool choices with it. Seasons come into play
Mhm.
pretty well. Do you ever play with the any of the Tuscany stuff?
Yes.
All of it, or
Yeah.
just part of it?
I throw everything in
Everything?
there. Yeah.
So Tuscany, I don't know what part. I don't think we played with it all. Do you have the Moore expansion?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I don't have that one yet.
It's a small. It's
Yeah,
a
just
very small box.
tiny little
Yeah.
deal. It's just a beautiful game. You know, I mean, it's art is always Stonemeyer's things.
Mhm.
You know, side with that. What was the other one? Euphoria.
Yeah.
And then this one. So I play this one solo as well. I don't like this one as solo as well as like, let's say, Euphoria.
Yeah.
You know, but it is what else can I say about it? I mean, it's
It's a solid worker placement game. They included the Grande worker in this
Yeah.
one, where he can go where it's already been blocked by someone else.
Yeah.
Because most worker placements, especially around that time, just had, well, I got here before you, so no one can go there. Well,
Right.
everyone got a Grande worker in the
Right.
Essential Edition that now
And,
he can go there.
there's a timing thing, because the timing thing is the big thing in this one. That was
Yep.
one thing I was going to bring up, is when you want to harvest
Mhm.
and stuff like that. It's a trick, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
A lot of people think this game is very swingy because
It can
of
be,
the
yeah.
cards, and it can be. I look at more as you have multiple ways to get cards, and there's different types of cards. So there's throughout the seasons, and you just do the best with what you got. It's not like there's no win card. Yeah, there's some that, oh hey, lucky me, I happen to get this person before and no one else did, and that helps me. But it's, you just do the best with what you got. Like, I don't think the cards are that much of a factor in viticulture.
and the Tuscany adds this other season, right?
Yeah, because it used to
Yeah.
just be spring, summer, then winter.
Right.
Tuscany added fall,
Right.
which was very much needed. Very much like the fact that your income can go up, like each round. Like you get income. I like the fact that there's cards that you have. They're the ones that you sell your wine to. There's a method to selling your, like, making wine first
Right.
of all,
Right.
and then you can store it, and then you're like, okay, so this person wants a sparkling level 6 and a red level 3, and some uptight asshole, but that's 7 points.
Right,
So it's
right.
like, okay, I'll work to get that. It's a solid game.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever played a single Vito Lasarda game?
No.
So he made Vinos,
Yeah.
and I have no doubt in my mind that I would love that game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about winemaking, and I guarantee you it plays completely different from viticulture, but it's about winemaking.
Yeah.
And I'll play, and I'll do my viticulture because it's not going to kill my brain
Right,
after
right.
playing it.
No, it's funny that you asked that, because last night one of the guys there asked me the same question if I'd played a
Vinos.
Well, just
Or Vita Lasarda game.
games. Yeah, Escape Plan, that. I told you about because on Mars, I didn't back yet.
I totally backed on Mars.
His games look very in depth.
Very, very autistic, I think that's the word you were looking for.
Yeah.
They are something else. But yeah, it's a good one. Viticulture's a good one.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the last Stonemaier game I think I have on here.
you have Scythe on there twice. You're like, it's so good.
I haven't played Wingspan. I haven't played any of the others.
Wingspan.
So,
there is
Tapestry.
Tapestry. There is Between Two
I
Cities.
haven't done that one.
That might be.
Yeah.
That might be Charterstone.
I haven't played.
You haven't played it?
Charterstone.
Those are the ones I can think of right now.
Yeah.
But that's it, everyone. That's this segment 80 through 71. Let us know what you think of these games in the comments below. Stick around for the rest of the top 100. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.